umonakalo live mengameli lalaba labe bakhona into lethu namuhla ngoba sikhona kuwo lalaba laba tawufika kusasa niko kumcokwa kakhulu lokwekuthi live lalisetshenzwa ulingise ngathi uhamba mandondolwane ngoba uyaconza lokwekuthi akusiko kwami ngikhona nje kusasangihambile
uqinisile shemeni ukuthi senilolongwe kakhulu niqeqeshiwe vele linjula buqopho landlini kuye kusaphasapha buyaluyalu nathi nje sesimunyile
nangabe liyanaka phela litiko la deputy prime minister ukuthi umntwana uyakuthola intino yabo sakhulile uyawathola yini masima kubo lemphakathi noma ukhanze sekubekwe bandla
manje nilaleti kwami kakhulu bonkosi mina nje angangena silizulu yena labone ukuthi simelane asimene nje asimshibi inhloko ngiqoleleni bonkosi ngiqoleleni ngiyabonga she.
All those that are in favor say aye. All those that are against say nay. The ayes have it and the ayes have it. Madam Clerk.
It has just gone 8 o'clock Central African time. Hello and welcome to the news bulletin at 8, produced by Eswatini TV. I'm Sanebo Ngoa and I'm with Noma Klabiso Ngambule. Thank you so much indeed for choosing to stay with us. We're coming to you live from our Hospital Hill studios in Mbabane. And for our top stories at 8, let's dive into it and take a look. The chairperson of the SADC organ on Peace, Defense and Security Cooperation, who is also the incumbent president of the Republic of Namibia, Dr. Haig Geingob, has praised His Majesty King Mswati III for his cooperation and commitment to finding lasting solution to the challenges facing the Kingdom of Eswatini. The Teaching Service Commission has announced the renewal of contracts for 1,231 teachers, and tough times lie ahead for consumers as the price of electricity will go up in April. Hello again, and for news in detail, the chairperson of the SADC organ on Peace, Defense and Security Cooperation, who is also the incumbent president of the Republic of Namibia, Dr. Haig Geingob, has praised His Majesty King Mswati III for his cooperation and commitment to finding a lasting solution to the challenges facing the kingdom. The chairperson was speaking when officially opening the SADC Double Troika Summit, which is underway in Namibia.
The SADC Double Troika Summit was officially opened by the President of the Republic of Namibia, His Excellency Dr. Haig Geingob, in his capacity as the chairperson of the organ. The Prime Minister Cleopas Dlamini represented His Majesty King Mswati III during the summit, which was also attended by South African President Cyril Ramaphosa and incoming chair of the organ, Zambian President Hakainde Hichilema. When addressing the summit, the chairperson applauded His Majesty King Mswati III for officially and openly welcoming him during his visit to the kingdom in his capacity as chairperson of the organ. He also applauded his predecessor, actually, President Cyril Ramaphosa, who also sent a team to the kingdom of Eswatini. He says they do believe as an organ that they are going to find lasting solutions to the political challenges that have engulfed the kingdom.
paid a very call on this budget meeting. After I assumed the chair, and would like to use this opportunity to once more thank the King Eswatini III through his Prime Minister, Leopold Lamin, present here with us. Our regional commitment has always been to address intra-state conflict by peaceful means. In this spirit, these initiatives were aimed at obtaining a clearer understanding of the causes and impact of the civil unrest and to consult key stakeholders on possible solutions to the prevailing challenges. I have said that when diplomacy fails and people stop talking, which are conflicts begin. Therefore, dialogue is important as it will give the peace process an opportunity.
By the time of compiling these reports, these countries were supposed to make presentations before the summit, which includes the Kingdom of Eswatini, Mozambique, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and Lesotho, were getting into the hall where the meeting is ongoing one by one. The outcome of the deliberations will be communicated during the closing summit. The President of the Republic of Congo, the DRC, His Excellency Philip Tshisekedi, was part of the meeting virtually. For Eswatini TV News, I am Linton Gule, Windhoek, Namibia.
Coming back home, the Teaching Service Commission has announced the renewal of contracts for 1,231 teachers. Speaking during the press briefing at the Ministry of Education, the chairperson of the TSC, Dr. Amos Matlalela, says they are working with the Ministry of Education to ensure that teachers are hired on a permanent basis.
The chairperson says the number includes lecturers who will be deployed in different colleges.
For primary schools, the Commission would like to state that currently teachers that are being considered for employment and renewals of contracts are those with the primary teacher's diploma who graduated in 2018. If in the event we make the renewals and still there are teachers who graduated in 2018 but are left out, we invite those teachers to show themselves to the Teaching Service Commission offices and register. Because all employment opportunities that will avail themselves will be offered to only 2018 graduates. Until we are done with 2018, then we will move on to 2019. For high schools, renewals will only depend to the need of the special subjects a teacher is offering. Again, in high schools, renewals will be done following the right sizing formula, which regulates the number of teachers in a school.
Matlalela warns people who pose as members of the commission collecting bribes for jobs. He says the TSC does not sell teaching positions. For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Ngamandla with Sonto Mlangeni, Mbabane.
Human trafficking victims will soon receive their comprehensive care at their rescue shelters. Their caregivers will be receiving training this week. The Prevention of People Trafficking and People Smuggling Interagency Task Force met with the United States Embassy and the Trafficking and Person Washington office to assess how the combating and response to human trafficking is progressing in the kingdom. The head of the task force, Nompumelelo Lukele, says caregivers need to be equipped with unique skills required when working with victims of sex or labor trafficking. Lukele says they are working closely with community members and the police to end human trafficking.
We have 4 cases. One case is at the High Court. It's a brought forward case from previous years, was affected among others by COVID, hence the delay. The second case we have is a Manzini case where we had 2 suspects arrested and charged for trafficking of a female, a minor from Mozambique. We have another case which is in Pixpic, where we have 3 victims there, minors as well, female minors. And then we have one Shiseloni region case where we have 6 victims in total, 4 females and 2 males, all from Mozambique. It varies according to people's vulnerabilities. It could be looking for greener pastures. We may have employment but want to improve ourselves. We could also be enticed by lack of employment itself, whereby people are looking for employment opportunities. They want to better themselves. They want to earn a livelihood. In some cases, it is an issue of being attracted, but what may look like your better opportunities for studying, and only to find that it is all in the guise of better opportunities, yet it is trafficking in persons.
Tough times lie ahead for consumers as the price of electricity will go up in April. The Eswatini Energy Regulatory Authority has announced a tariff hike of 10.14% and 8.02% for this year and next year respectively. SADC says this was a tough decision, though it had to be made.
Consumers should spend wisely these days. Since the beginning of the year, the repo rate has gone up, the price of fuel is unstable, and now electricity tariff has gone up.
This means that the domestic tariff, will increase by 10.98%, whilst the energy charges for time of use customers should increase by 10.8%. And the small commercial customers' tariffs will increase by 10.9%. Demand charges should increase by 10.8%, whilst the time of use facility charge and access charge have been approved to increase by inflation, which is 4.56%. Taking into account the fixed charges and the concerns around that matter, the regulator has ruled that the commercial charges should decrease by 4.54%.
The electricity tariff hike was not what the Eswatini Electricity Company applied for. EEC had asked for an average of 21.31% hike for 2023-2024 and 2024-2025. One of the reasons for this high tariff application was that Eskom is expected to sell to them at an average of 15.7% increase for the 2 years. For Eswatini TV News, Tim Gosima Vimbela with Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Mbabane.
An unknown person has died after a car he was traveling in exploded at Mlindazo on Monday night. Eyewitnesses say they first heard a banging sound, and upon inspection they found a sedan on fire by the road, and the police have confirmed the report.
Witnesses who did not wish to speak on camera said they heard the explosion after 11:30 p.m. on Monday. They said the explosion was louder than the sound of a fired gun. They also said they went to see what was happening, whereafter they saw a car engulfed in flames on its rear side. They further said they ran to attempt to rescue the driver, but the car started moving forward, driving by the side of the road. They said they noted that the driver did not make a sound or try to escape the burning vehicle. Police confirmed the report.
Yathi natifika natutaka muti kwabitwa nemaphoyisa nawo aphuthuma ngebhadi bathi tena befika bakhanza ukuthi lona lebekaqhuba le moto so uvele ushonele lakhathi emotweni ngako kona kusha. Singemaphoyisa ke nanyalo nje sisesekhona khona kulendzawo lapho kwendeke khona lesigigameko sisazama kubuka ukuthi engabe yini lele labathi laba labevile ichumile sisengakalicethi ke vele liphenyo le kumbe nase sibonile ukuthi kwendeke sesingaphinze sibuye siveni kusho ukuthi engabe kwendekeni lesingakusho nje ukuthi bantu laba kumbe labati umuntu lebekahamba ngemoto lihlobo lwepholo ngenhlahla lembike side nembala wayo ngoba sikhanze vele thina seyishile iphelile kodwa nje abantu labangaboni kumbe isihlobo sabo lebathi ukuthi besihamba ngepholo siyacela ukuthi abavele emaphoyiseni kumbe akalobamba.
Police have asked people who may have information that may lead to the identification of the driver to report to the Lubamba police station. For Eswatini TV News, Temgosima Vimbela with Muzim Konda, Mlindazwe.
The Eswatini Public Procurement Agency is training different entities on the importance of following laid-down procurement procedures to avoid a loss of finances. Speaking during the training at Happy Valley Hotel at Eswatini, the Senior Compliance and Investigations Officer, Velingwenye, says corruption could be avoided if all procurement laws can be followed.
The Senior Compliance and Investigations Officer says they highlighted some of the forms of corruption that occur through procurement. He mentions that these include collusion, either among government employees and companies or companies themselves escalating prices.
Sivusetela ke tindzaba temtsetfo lo ngona ubuke tekutsengiselana even laseSwatini kwekuthi bawulandzela kanjani basa tsengiselana noma basathenga bona bathenga etinkampanini letitsengisela bona laba qhuba imisebenti yahulumende even kuze ukuthi hulumende agcine athenga ngendlela lesitawuthi ihlakaniphile ngekulu ukuthi kunetimali letinkulu letiba involved lapho mhlambe bese kuba khona emathabelangoti sitothi ke kubo laba labathengela hulumende
He says fines for procurement fraud include a jail sentence of 10 years. For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Langamandla with Sonto Mlangeni, Zulwini.
Coming in from the High Court, the court has heard closing submissions in the case of the state versus Baqete Mabuza and Mtandeni Dube. The Crown has submitted that it has proven beyond reasonable doubt that Mabuza, Dube and Mduduzi Melane acted in common purpose when committing their alleged offences. The accused say they were being political and never promoted terrorism. That story.
The Crown, as well as jailed members of Parliament Baqete Mabuza and Mtandeni Dube, have made their closing submissions in their matter. The two MPs face charges of terrorism, while Mabuza was also accused of murder. The Crown submitted to the court that the accused acted in common purpose with former Sipofaneni Member of Parliament Mduduzi Simelane to commit the alleged offences. The Crown also submitted that the accused told the public to continue delivering petitions to their constituencies despite a government ban. The Crown submitted that the delivery of petitions was accompanied by violence and damage of property. The accused persons submitted that the court should not find them guilty because they never advocated for violence. The accused also told the court that there is no evidence that what they said influenced how people acted, resulting in the death of two people. They further told the court that they often publicly stated that they loved the king and asked people not to use violence. They further told the court that there is no evidence of them engaging in terrorism. The court is now expected to deliver its judgment on the matter. For Eswatini TV News, Temgosima Vimbela, Mbabane.
The Ministry of Tourism and Environmental Affairs, together with relevant stakeholders in issues of climate change, is currently reviewing the implementation of the National Climate Change Strategy of 2016-2020. According to the Ministry's focal person on climate change, Ketsiwe Kumalo, some of the successes is that some programs were successfully incorporated into the National Development Plan. Kumalo was speaking during the stakeholders meeting held in Eswatini. Eswatini TV's Sonto Mlangeni has more on that story.
The Ministry of Tourism and Environmental Affairs, in collaboration with other ministries and agencies in issues of climate change, is taking stock of the implementation of the 2016 to 2020 National Climate Change Strategy. The climate change focal person in the ministry, Ketsiwe Kumado, says currently they are trying to incorporate climate change in the local curriculum.
asibukete tindzaba tekufundza tesikolo te-curriculum kwekuthi bantfwana basesesikolweni abafunze phela nge-climate change. Loko-ke sisakusebenta kwanyalo nelitiko letekufundza nalaba labasentela le-curriculum i-NCC, so sisengakacedzi but nje sesihambe kakhulu ngoba sahlala phasi sabuka ukuthi yini lokukhona kwanyalo kule curriculum, yini lesingakufaka kuze bantfu bethu nabo bafunze nge-climate change. But tingcinamba tona tikhona kwekuthi info lesishaya kakhulu kubabete letimali. Sisasebenta ke silitiko kwekuthi timali sititfola kanjani letitawusenta kwekuthi sente lo msebenzi welive ngalokufanele.
After this review, the Ministry of Tourism and Environmental Affairs will then formulate another 5-year national climate change strategy. For Eswatini TV News, Sondomlangeni, Nelson Langamandla, Ezulwini.
In an effort to improve the detection of tuberculosis in young children, the Ministry of Health is training health workers on new techniques of diagnosing and confirming the disease in children. The coordinator in the Ministry of Health, Sisi Dube, says the ministry wants to ensure that it follows the world standard approach of diagnosing children.
The coordinator says the workshop is to equip the health workers with information on thorough assessment of all evidence from history of exposure, clinical examination, and relevant investigations of tuberculosis as per the world standard.
Umhlaba usibhekile ukuthi sibathole futhi sibelaphe. Singabelaphiswa ukuthi sibakhanza ukuthi banayo i-TB noma ukhanza ukuthi siyabelapha eluhlangothini lokuthi siyabavikela ke ukuthi bangabi nayo i-TB. Ekuhambeni kweminyaka siyabukisisa sicwaninge ukuthi sihamba kanjani. Siyabathola yini labantwana nangaba sibatholi sendiwa yini. Sitokwathi ukuthi si improve nangathi pheceledi ngesingesimane si-improve kubathola labo bantwana.
In the year 2021, the Ministry of Health reported that tuberculosis treatment success rate stands at 86% in the kingdom. For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Langamandla, Matsapa.
More news for you in the world of business as we take a look at our financial indicators to see how markets perform today in our financial report. Welcome back. You're still tuned to Eswatini TV, and for our news in the world of sports, the Ho Football Association chairman, Comfort Chonge, says the time will come where they will demand that every development coach should have a certificate that will qualify them to coach the development teams. Chonge was speaking in a press briefing at Eswatini House in Babane.
The Ho Football Association is working hard in making sure that development is taken care of in the country. The association, in partnership with Lactalis, last year launched a tournament for development sites, which is expected to be completed in February across the Ho region. The chairman of the Ho Regional Football Association, Comfort Shonga, says they are now working on making sure that the development coaches possess a certificate that will enable them to coach the development sites.
Do we have an instrument to check on that? Probably the club licensing system, whereby now a coach will be required to produce a sort of a card of accreditation. Yes. Fine, now it's still a Premier League, but it has to come down. Also, that's what we are supposed to be doing with the strategic plan that is being developed by the Football Association currently, which is going to take us for another 5 years. I think that it's in that part. That now, if you coach juniors, you have to produce, you are checked also, like we check the players, verification of the age and everything. So you also, when as a coach, are you qualified to coach this under 13? Yes, we are in that.
Lactalis marketing manager Lucky Puri says they're determined to make sure the sponsorships covers the whole country.
We are always keen, and we are always very excited about development, as I mentioned earlier on. We are not shutting down potential opportunities. We are already in Shiselweni. I think it's worth mentioning that we do have one sponsorship running in Shiselweni. And our eye for development is always open.
Products of these tournaments that started in 2013, Swakile Shong and Maibonga Mabuza, who are now playing in the Elite League, were part of this event. Mabuza said the tournament was important for them.
Banenhlanhla bona basitfolile. Nathi saqala kancane sidlala ama Milky Maze, sicansi lokho umnanzi lokudlala ama Milky Maze. Kanze kusita ngilokudlala. Akusilo kumunya lama Milky Maze.
The tournament finals will start this coming weekend at the Msuduza Sports Ground in Mbabane, and the tournament is sponsored to the tune of 200,000 Amalangeni. Reporting for Eswatini TV Sports News, I am Patizom Sibi, Mbabane.
The Eswatini National Sports Council has announced that they will this year host the National Sports Awards. The awards were last hosted in the year 2019. Temsani Dewani, who is the communications officer, he says the awards will be from the year 2020 to the year 2022 and will be hosted on the 1st of March.
In 2019, the Eswatini National Sports Recreation Council hosted the first National Sport Awards. The next edition was supposed to be 2 years later, but it was not to be as the country was battling the COVID-19 pandemic. The Sports Council has, however, announced that they will this year continue with the awards.
The council is intending to host a mini awards stroke recognition ceremony for our sporting heroes and heroines. The proposed date is the 1st March 2023 in a venue that is unfortunately yet to be confirmed. We'll be recognizing our shining stars in eight categories that will include the outstanding sports coach and outstanding sports team, to mention just those two. We are expecting our national sports associations to actually submit their nominees by latest Friday, 17 February 2023. The award date is 1st March 2023. We're looking forward to having the Minister of Sports, Culture and Youth Affairs, being the one conferring our heroes and heroines with these awards.
There will be 8 categories that will be voted for, which include outstanding athletes in sports, juniors, seniors, and those with disabilities, coaches, and sports teams. The rest of the categories will be awarded by the Minister. Nominations are open till the 17th of February, and the awards will be hosted on the 1st of March 2023. Reporting for Eswatini TV Sports News, I am Patizom Msibi, Mbabane.
Well, with those sports news, we have hit the home stretch of the news bulletin at 8. Before we go, here's a quick reminder of our news making headlines tonight. The chairperson of the SADC organ on Peace, Defense and Security Cooperation, who is also the incumbent president of the Republic of Namibia, Dr. Hage Geingob, has praised His Majesty King Mswati III for his cooperation and commitment to finding lasting solution to the challenges facing the Kingdom of Eswatini. The Teaching Service Commission has announced the renewal of contracts for 1,231 teachers, and tough times lie ahead for consumers as the price of electricity will go up in April. Beautiful Kingdom of Eswatini, that's all we had for you in the news desk, and we shall now cross over to the Weather Center for a detailed weather report to give us a sense of how the weather will be looking like tomorrow. And from us and the rest of the team at Eswatini TV, for now, it's good night and God bless.
Lifestyle is about attitude, values, interests, and behaviors, and this is